Now, as we've been reporting on, WION World is One, the 2+2 ministerial meeting is currently underway in the Indian capital, New Delhi. Let's cut across to a press briefing.
Sir, Shruti Ranjan from the Bloomberg, sir. On the India-Canada issue, sir, if you could give us a clear understanding what was the discussion and whether there was a renewed demand for India to join the investigation. If so, what was India's reply, sir? Thank you.
Anybody else has related questions related to these topics? Okay, sir, go ahead. Microphone, please. Yeah, other microphone, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm Emerson from Taiwan. Aside from Israel, is Taiwan Strait and South China Sea discussed?
Sorry, that wasn't a related question. I think you misunderstood me. I'll come back to you on the question. Ayushi, you have it on this question? Yeah, microphone behind you.
Sir, Ayushi Agarwal from ANI. Also, on this India-Canada row, was there also any discussion on the withdrawal of Canadian diplomats since US has earlier expressed concerns regarding this Canadian diplomats from India?
Okay. Same question? Yeah, okay.
Sir, Abhishek Jar from Seri News. Did the discussion also have anything with the US intelligence, which apparently was the reason on the basis of which Canadian Prime Minister alleged intelligence issue? So, did you talk about the intelligence sharing also?
Okay. Same with you or same topic? Yeah.
सर मैं विशाल पांडे हूँ जी न्यूज से। क्या इस मुलाकात में इजराइल हमास युद्ध पर चर्चा हुई और क्या सीज फायर को लेकर भी कोई बातचीत हुई है?
Okay, so with this I'll pass on the questions.
Thank you. Let me first take up the bucket of questions relating to India-Canada, whether it came up for discussions, and if it came up for discussions, in what form it came up, withdrawal of diplomats, renewed demand for investigations, etc., etc. Look, insofar as Canada is concerned, we have been having very consistent conversation with all our friends and partners. And our position on this matter has been enunciated, explained in full detail at multiple occasions, including in the weekly pressers that Arindam hosts. And the thrust of our conversation with our partners, no different today than it is at any other forum, is essentially that, look, we have core security concerns, and I'm sure you're all aware of the recent video that has surfaced from one such individual, which poses I think this is Pathan Singh Panno's video, which presents a very serious security concern for the Indian interest, and we have made our position very, very clear to our friends and partners, and I think they understand and appreciate that sense of where India comes from. On the question of conflict between Israel and Palestine, I think 3-4 thoughts behind different questions on this. One of which relates to whether it came up for discussions, what were the perspectives. आपने इजराइल हमास युद्ध के बारे में बात की, सीज फायर के बारे में बात की, वो एक परिप्रेक्ष्य प्रश्न का. And then there was another thought with regard to this conflict. Look, this is naturally, as I said, that among the regional developments, the three set of things which came up for discussion, it included, of course, the developments in the Middle East. Both sides shared their perspective of how, of their concern, how they look at the situation, where various elements of the developing situation, etc. Our position, India's position on this is well known to you. It also came up in discussion, and I think certain elements of how both sides look at the situation come. From India's perspective, we have always stood for a two-state solution, early resumptions of dialogue, You are also aware of very early on in the when the current hostility started, India put out a tweet condemning the horrific terrorist attacks on Israel on October 7. And we have always advocated zero tolerance for terrorism. Besides, there is also the angle of humanitarian assistance in the given situation. You are aware that India has already sent about 38 tons of humanitarian assistance to the region to address the humanitarian situation which is there. We have asked for strict observance of international humanitarian law, de-escalation of the situation, and of course also condemn the civilian casualties where they've occurred. The sharing of perspective between the principals was built around these parameters in the discussions. जहाँ तक पीटीआई का प्रश्न था चीन भूटान को लेके, चीन भूटान का जहाँ तक प्रश्न है या चीन से जुड़े बाकी पूरे परिप्रेक्ष्य का प्रश्न है, तो चीन की आचार संहिता क्षेत्र में क्षेत्रीय परिप्रेक्ष्य में क्या है, कैसी है, वो सब मुद्दे जो हैं दोनों पक्षों के बीच में विस्तृत रूप से जो है उन पे वार्तालाप हुआ था. स्पेसिफिक किन चीज़ों पे कम, किसी में ज़्यादा, बट चीन को लेके वार्तालाप दोनों देशों के बीच में हुआ था.
Thank you. Next round of questions. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Ajay Banerjee, work in the Tribune. My question is to the Defense Secretary. Sir, was there a discussion on the engine F414? The last time you had a discussion about that. And any progress on the MQ-9B drones? And thirdly, sir, has the US offered a land strike vehicle to us, the Striker, if I may name it? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, I'm Sanjeev from News 24. Just wanted to know whether the topic of the release of 8 ex-Navy personnel in the Qatari jail right now was also discussed. Will America use its good office to help us?
Huma.
Sir, I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Connect.
Perhaps before we go home, anybody else has a defense part of it related to this? Because we saw a couple of these questions. Anybody else has a defense-related question? If not, I'll go. You have a defense-related question? Yeah, okay. So I'll just come to you.
Sir, your question for the Defense Secretary, Sir, Shruti from Bloomberg, sir. Any additional details to the infantry vehicles that discussions are on? Is there an agreement that is there that you could tell us about? And also, any other means that you've discussed on hastening the engines coming to India? Any other discussions you've had on the jet engines, sir?
There's a hand behind there. Same questions? Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. This is Anju Nevan from TV9 Bharatvarsh. My question with Defense Secretary. Sir, जिस तरीके से भारत और अमेरिका की डिफेंस डील को लेकर लगातार बात हो रही है और प्रीडेटर ड्रोन और जो इंजन को लेकर भी जो डील हुई है, अभी जो डिस्कशन हुए हैं, क्या उसमें उसको लेकर और आगे चर्चा बढ़ी है? प्रीडेटर ड्रोन्स की अगर हम बात करें तो भारत को ये कब मिलने की संभावना है? क्योंकि लगातार अगर हम थ्रेट्स की अगर हम बात करें तो भारत के पास दो तरफ से थ्रेट हैं, चाइना की ओर से, मतलब ईस्टर्न लद्दाख बॉर्डर की अगर हम बात करें या वेस्टर्न कमांड की अगर हम बात करें तो दोनों तरफ से थ्रेट हैं.
अगर क्वेश्चन टाइट रखें, क्या प्रश्न था आपका? ड्रोन पे कुछ मूवमेंट हुई है या नहीं?
नहीं सर, प्रीडेटर ड्रोन,
प्रीडेटर
भारत और अमेरिका की जो डील थी और प्लस जो इंजन को लेकर जो डील थी जिसको लेकर डिस्कशन हुआ था.
Thank you. Right. I saw another hand. No, if not, yeah, somebody else had a query on defense issues? Yeah, go ahead. Not defense, I'll come back to you. So then maybe this next round we'll do it.
As I mentioned in the opening remarks itself, we have a very thriving defense cooperation between the two countries. While the purchases have been going for quite some time, co-development and co-production have been the focus during last few years. Under that, as you know, during Prime Minister's visit to US, GE 414 was agreed to by US government. Under that, we are finalizing the commercial arrangement and the necessary legal requirements are being put in place. So this is on track. It will happen as was originally scheduled. Regarding the MQ-9B hail, that is high altitude, long endurance, we have some understanding. We have given our request, letter of request has gone there and they have to respond. The US company has to take clearance from their government and come back to us. Meanwhile, we have necessary capability to take care of our immediate threats. Regarding the infantry combat vehicle, this is a part of the defense industry cooperation roadmap between the two countries. The provision under this roadmap is to co-develop and co-produce machinery, equipment, weapons required by the two countries. So any cooperation in this sector will happen when Indian military's needs are finalized specifically and then they arrive at a production plan. So the initial offer on several infantry combat vehicle systems has come from US. We have expressed our interest in discussing further to take the co-development and co-production part ahead. So this will take some time. We will work, our teams will work, industrial and military teams will work with the US industry and defense teams and come out with a concrete plan in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I know I had a few whom I interrupted you. Yeah, please go ahead. This is the last one. We're running a little behind time. Quickly, please keep your questions.
Sir, I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Financial Express. Just wanted to know what was discussed in the space cooperation. We have already signed the Artemis Accord, so any project identified? Okay. And will they help us in building the space station which Prime Minister Modi had announced recently?
Yeshi, quickly.
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. Was Bangladesh a part of the discussions you had, especially considering the fact that US has been very concerned about free and fair elections in Bangladesh, and India too, we have the rising influence of China is also a point of concern.
Look, I see a lot of hands, but I'm not sure we'll be able to cover everybody. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you raise your hand first.
सर विजयलक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से इजराइल हमास पे पूछना चाहती हूँ वहाँ के हालांकि पहले राउंड में आप जवाब दे चुके हैं लेकिन हिंदी में क्या इजराइल हमास को लेकर चर्चा हुई और भारत का क्या रुख था क्योंकि सीज फायर को लेकर युद्ध विराम को लेकर लगातार
देखिए वो टॉपिक कर चुके हैं हम हिंदी में नहीं अभी मौका नहीं.
That was the Indian Foreign Ministry giving a press briefing right after the 5th edition of the India-US 2+2 ministerial dialogue that kicked off in New Delhi on Friday itself. Now, during the conversation, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was present, the Foreign External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, those were from the Indian side. From the US side, Secretary of State Antony Blinken was present and Secretary of Defence Lloyd Austin was also present. Now, we are yet to hear the exact details from the meeting, but that was the press briefing from the Indian Foreign Ministry. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.